Hey kids, History Channel guy here. So Joseph Stalin, or his real name, Losif Vissarionovich Dzhugashvili. I definitely just butchered that, but that's right. Joseph Stalin's name is not Joseph Stalin. Stalin wanted to change his name to sound tougher and to give him more pizzazz in the complex world of Soviet politics. So, Joseph Stalin's name roughly translates to Joseph Steel. But that's besides the point. What if I were to tell you in 1941, Stalin might have unknowingly cursed the Soviet Union? In today's quick history, I go over Timur's curse. But before I start, almost 95% of you are not subscribed to the channel, and it would be great if you could like and subscribe. So, to talk about the history of Timur's curse, I need to rewind to the 15th century, to the death of Sultan Timur. For those who don't know, Timur Gurkhani was a conqueror and the founder of the Timurid Empire, which captured parts of Afghanistan, Iran, and Central Asia. Timur is considered one of the greatest military minds of all time, but at the same time, he is also considered to be an extremely cruel conqueror. There are some crazy stories about Timur, which honestly deserve videos of their own. But just to sum it up, one time he ordered the construction of a tower made out of living men. Timur told the builders that the men were to be stacked one on top of the other, and that they would be cemented together. On another occasion, Timur had 70,000 heads built into minarets, which are towers that accompany Muslim mosques. In essence, Timur was a terrible guy, and thousands of people were relieved that he finally died. However, after his death, Timur would haunt the world when he put two warnings on his tomb. The first warning stated, quote, "When I rise from the dead, the world will tremble." But good thing Timur is not Jesus Christ himself, so his resurrection seems unlikely. The second warning is one that I want to talk about. As Timur warned all grave robbers, "Whoever so disturbs my tomb will unleash an invader more terrible than I." So it is June 1941. A Russian excavation led by a guy whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce went to the Soviet territory of Gur-Amur in modern-day Uzbekistan. Given orders from Joseph Stalin, the goal of the excavation was to open the tomb of Timur to examine the bodies of the former Sultan and his family. Being conscious of the curse, local residents and Muslim clergymen attempted to stop the Russian excavation, but they were unsuccessful, and the Russians opened the tomb. The excavations lasted for 4 days, and it wasn't until the fourth day that they opened Timur's tomb. Upon opening the tomb, the archaeologists noted that there was, quote, "a sharp choking odor that filled the air." This was especially odd considering historically, these same scientists that opened Egyptian tombs noted that there was always a sweetness in the air. But in Timur's tomb, there's only the smell of death. So why does this matter? Why, as a World War II historian, do we care about Soviet scientists opening the tomb of some random ruler who died 400 years ago? Well, on June 22nd, 2 days after the Soviets opened Timur's tomb, Hitler's Germany invaded the Soviet Union in a surprise invasion. Prior to the invasion, Germany and the Soviets had a very weird relationship. They signed the German-Soviet Pact, which called for non-aggression between the two nations, and they later agreed to split Poland between the two of them after the country successfully invaded in 1939. But at the same time, Stalin knew Hitler had a real hatred for the Soviet people. After hearing about the invasion, the Soviet archaeologists were notably distressed. The excavation team quickly packed up their things and sent the bodies of Timur and his family to Moscow on Stalin's orders. To me, this seems like a pretty weird thing to do when you just think you started a 4 centuries long curse, but I digress. So, did Stalin really curse the Soviet Union? Well, the superstitious part of me wants to say yes, But if you really look at it logically, this just seems like a weird historical coincidence. For instance, though Operation Barbarossa started the invasion on June 22nd, 1941, Hitler approved the operation as early as 1940, months before Timur's tomb was open. Also, remember that horrible odor that came from the tomb? Yeah, that probably wasn't a curse. It was later proved that these smells came from embalming coming from the tomb. Basically, Timur died in a disgusting state, and unlike Egyptian times, Timur's empire did not have as sophisticated of a burial process. Yet, despite both of these facts, some evidence supports the curse hypothesis. For instance, a month before the end of the Battle of Stalingrad, Stalin ordered Russian scientists to return the body of Timur and his family to be buried with Russia's highest honors. Many believe that because of the burial, Timur released Stalin of the curse and allowed the Soviets to defeat the Germans in the Battle of Stalingrad. Or maybe Stalin won the Battle of Stalingrad because the whole invading Russia and winter thing, and it became increasingly difficult for Germany to transport supplies to the front line. There are obviously other factors that go into the Battle of Stalingrad and Operation Barbarossa, but that's not what this video is about, and if you want to hear about Hitler's invasion of Russia, please let me know, and I will make a video on it. Just let me know in the comment section. What is also fascinating about this whole situation is after the return of Timur to his grave, thousands of Muslims, especially in Central Asia, started to fight for the Soviet Union, and they contributed deeply to the Eastern Front. But in essence, it is kind of ambiguous on whether Stalin cursed the Soviet Union. Well, unless you consider poor mismanagement, which leads to the deaths of 11 million people, a curse, but that's a story for another day. But that's it basically. Everyone, what do you think? Did Stalin curse the Soviet Union and lead to the German invasion and Operation Barbarossa? Or is this just a weird historical coincidence from a ruler who left a very eerie message to anyone who'd rob his tomb? As always, let me know in the comment section, and remember to like and subscribe if you want more World War II content and history. Thanks guys, have a great day.